perimeter of this figure is 100 meter. Okay, here we have the figure, the rectangular, one rectangle, and we have the dimensions of the rectangle length and width. We find the value, what is the maximum value of the area? How can we calculate that? In order to calculate that, we're going to start using the formula of the perimeter of a rectangle. So if we use the dimensions L plus W times 2, that's the perimeter of a rectangle. If we divide both sides by 2, then we have L plus W equal, perimeter is given 100, divide by 2, so L plus W equal 550. 100 divided by 250. So the length will be 50 minus W. Now, this way, using the perimeter, we found one dimension's length in terms of the other width. Now, let's take a look at the formula for the area of the rectangle. The formula for the area of a rectangle is length times width. So the area will be, instead of length, we put 50 minus W times W. And the function of the area in terms of W, it's going to be 50W minus W squared. Now, how are we going to find the maximum value of this function? This function, first of all, is a quadratic function, and we're going to find first the zeros of this function. So 50W minus W squared equals 0, or 50 minus W times W equals 0. And 50 minus W equals 0, and W equals 0. Solving this equation, W equals 50 and W equals 0. These are two roots of this equation, the solution of this function. So since this is a quadratic function, we can draw the graph knowing the zeros of the function. 0, 50, and the axis of symmetry of the parabola goes in the middle of 0 and 50, which is 25. And the parabola will be this one. So that is the parabola, the graph of the parabola. And here we have the vertex with coordinates x and y. Now, for x, as you see, I talk about axis of symmetry, so x equal 25. By finding the y, the value of y, then we can find that's the maximum point of our function, so that's the maximum point also of our function. So x and y are coordinates of the vertex, and y is going to represent the maximum. That's the maximum point. Why this point? This vertex is the maximum point for this function. As you see from the figure, that's the maximum point, and also the coefficient in front of W squared is here -1, so the parabola is downwarded. So if we substitute now, find the value of a function a of 25, that's going to be 50 times 25 minus 25 squared. 50 times 25